Coming up today, we're joined by Sugargob.
It genuinely makes me happy, to hear that music and to hear that sort of those feelings expressed in such a way.
I'll share a slice of Glendale High's history, and Dan will tell you about our handy guide to this weekend's Newcastle show. Produced on Awabakal and Warramai Land, this is The Good Stuff on Newcastle Live.
This is
Good.
good stuff.
The Good Stuff. We've just shared a YouTube video that was captured at Glendale High School back in 1982. The NBN news footage shows Glendale High students receiving awards at what seems to be an end-of-year sports awards ceremony. From the hair to the uniforms and the teachers' fashion, we can't get enough of it. To check it out for yourself, head on over to newcastlelive.com.au. Good. Local muso Sugargob is about to release a brand new single called This Too Shall Pass. Here's the chat that we had with Death earlier this week. So, I think I'd love to start off by asking about this brand new single, which is out on the 1st of March.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about it.
All right. Well, the song's called This Too Shall Pass. Like all things, we live in a transient universe. This song is born from deep pain and loss, and it's sort of the metamorphosis or the soul level alchemy through that, and this song is the result. So it was sort of born in the depths of winter 2020.
Yeah, okay.
And I've just been polishing and refining it ever since, and now it's ready to come out into the world.
So exciting. And it's been a while since you've released.
Yes.
So how does it feel to lead with something so heavy?
It feels good. It feels like an evolution of sorts. I feel like this is probably the most honest my songwriting has been in my musical life to date. So it feels good to lead with that, some more sincerity, and something I feel people can relate to as well.
Yeah. And how about sound-wise? Do you feel like there's been an evolution there, or do you think it's going to be the Sugargob that we all know and love?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's evolved. I feel like every time I put music out, I've kind of leveled up, both in terms of songwriting and production, because I mix it all myself as well.
Wow.
And so maybe that's part of the reason why it takes so long for the music to come out, because I'm wearing all those hats. But that's kind of how I do it. But yeah, I'm very, very satisfied with the sound, and it's kind of it's the new chapter. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about your songwriting process?
Sure. Well, as I said, this song in particular, it comes in waves, my songwriting, right? This song in particular came through a pretty painful experience where, when it rains, it pours, right? And so
totally.
All these things kind of landed in my life at once, where it was like, oh. And so the songwriting, it's kind of necessary for me to process all that. It's my sort of through line and my way to crawl out of that pit, if you will. So this was the first song of several that I was inspired to write coming out of that period. And yeah, so for me, it's a form of therapizing myself, I suppose.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So it's the first from a whole pile of songs that you've written.
That's right, yeah.
Are we to expect a new album? Or?
Absolutely, yeah. So, I've been working on this album for years and years now, and we're pretty well at the end stages. So the album's called With a Cherry on Top.
Cool.
So a nice, sweet little sentiment through all the turbulence and the melancholy. So, yeah, between now and September, I plan to put out 7 singles, and then the album will follow at the end of the year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so would you say the overarching theme of the album, is it based around that first single, or?
That's a great question. I think so, but there's, because of my sort of erratic songwriting nature, you've got down-tempo, mellow numbers, and then you've got a funky rap track, you know.
Cool.
So like it's a mixed bag. That's just very much what the Sugargob outlet is for, to allow me to experiment in these ways. But yeah, I suppose the theme is one of optimism in the face of overwhelming circumstances.
Yeah. What's it like putting together a Sugargob performance? Because it is just you up there.
Yes.
That would be quite intimidating, right?
Yeah, it can be. Oh my God, my first Sugargob shows, like I was shaking.
Yeah.
And I was so in my head. It was incredibly nerve-wracking because I come from a history of playing in bands, and you've sort of got that safety blanket of your other bandmates, like whether it fails or, you know, whether it's, you know, you soar majestically, like you're there with your homies.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's taken years. I think I did my first solo Sugargob show in like 2016, and yeah, I just steadily built my confidence for that. But yeah, it's kind of, you know, like I've got a background in community radio and making playlists. I really, and you know, like making mixtapes, like when you're courting someone, you know, like I adore that process. I love storytelling in every form. And so I guess when I'm cultivating a Sugargob performance, it's tapping into that intuitive aspect of like, what do I want to start with? Like, how does the end of this song feel? What do I feel like wants to come afterwards? You know, it's this sort of like listening process.
Yeah.
If anything, yeah.
Absolutely. What have you been listening to lately?
I've been going back to my metalhead roots.
Hell yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of Slipknot and Pantera.
Cool.
Which is nice because that opened my mind and my world as a teenager. Like, wow. There's more to life than just the top 40, and, you know, inspired me endlessly. So it's nice to circle back around because I think in my early 20s when I was, you know, in that very flowery hippie kind of phase, I didn't listen to it as much, but it is a great love of mine. And it genuinely makes me happy, like, to hear that music and to hear that sort of like those feelings expressed in such a way. So yeah, I've been on the heavier side of the road recently, which I really enjoy. And Tim Minchin, I got to see him at Civic Theatre a couple of weeks ago, and like again, I discovered him when I was, you know, in that sort of tender 15-year-old, 16-year-old phase, and he inspired me and continues to do so. So to see him live in the Civic Theatre was just a dream come true. It was awesome.
Yeah, it would have been crazy. So when can we next see you live?
Great question. Damn. My gigs kind of come in waves, you know. I did a few earlier in the month. I honestly have just been so focused on finishing the album. I haven't even really thought about live performances.
That's okay though, because, you know, we can all follow you on the socials.
Of course,
and make sure that we stay updated.
Yeah. There's plenty to come, but as I said, that performing live hasn't really been my focus of late.
Yeah.
But I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, well, I can't wait. I'm so keen to hear this brand new single and keen to hear everything that follows it too. But thank you so much for joining us in the studio.
Thanks for having me.
This is where it sounds good.
Good stuff.
Want to find out more about this weekend's Newcastle show? We gotcha. Our handy guide features the complete program right across the weekend and highlights some of the unmissable events. To check it out for yourself, head to newcastlelive.com.au.
Good stuff.
That's it for the good stuff today. Thank you so much to Sugargob for joining us. Be sure to check out that brand new single. It's out tomorrow. We'll catch you again at 4 p.m. tomorrow.